If you've got a little too much clutter in your home, keep watching to see some super easy and functional ways to bring a little Dollar Tree organization and storage solutions into your life. And they're pretty cute too. Hey everyone, welcome back to White Sparrow Living, Luke 12:6. I'm Wendy and we are starting now. For this first Dollar Tree organization project, we're using 7 clear plastic crayon boxes, a long plastic bin, and some labels I made on my cutting machine. And so super simple, just remove all the stickers and then apply our labels to the tops of each of our boxes. For us, we have Mom, Dad, Ken is for our daughter Kennedy, and then Grandma, which is my mommy who lives with us. And then I have ears for earphones and bricks for the short version of charging bricks, and extras for the extras. But these are for our backup chargers, and we all have one by our beds and in our cars. But for those times when we lose those or they quit working, we know exactly where to go to get the backup, or even when a visitor comes and needs to borrow one, you can just pull it from the extras box and don't have to mess with your system or worry about getting it back. Plus, this will keep them from getting all tangled and turning into one of those big charger balls. So you can just slip this into a cabinet or drawer and you are all set. This next little hack is so handy, no pun intended, but I am constantly losing my mini hand sanitizer in my big purse. So I'm just going to use one of those Dollar Tree cell phone straps and hot glue that to the bottom of this plastic travel bottle. And then to give it some cuteness, I just added a sweet little gingham bow, added my Dollar Tree sanitizer, and it's ready to hang in your car. So every time you get done shopping or you're just out and about, you'll be able to get the little germies off without having to rifle through your purse or your car to look for it. And plus, it's super cute. Next, we're moving into the kitchen, and I'm using 2 Dollar Tree soap dispensers, some of their mini off-brand command hooks. They're so teeny tiny and cute. And then some more labels that I cut out. And you can always use just a Sharpie or some Dollar Tree rub-on letters for any of these projects. But we're just going to place our words on the side of our dispensers going vertically, which I think is so cutie patootie. And I did mine a little bit to the left side. It was kind of unintentional, but I think it's even cuter and has more interest. And then I'm just going to take a hook and hang it on the side of my dispenser. And so when you're doing dishes, you can just hang your ring on there and you will never lose it. And then I'm going to fill these little guys up with my dishwashing liquid. And then can you believe this spa soap refill? It's 32 ounces and it's only $1. Well, of course it's $1. It's at the Dollar Tree. But since we're washing our hands so often, I think this will be a little more gentle on them, and it's functional as all get out. And of course, it's pretty adorable too. Now this one is not so adorable, but it is super functional, and I really don't like seeing a dirty sponge sitting in the sink, so I used 2 command hooks to hang a Dollar Tree sponge holder on the inside of my cupboard door under the sink. And these come with the suction cups attached, and you would hang it onto the inside wall of your sink, which is how it's supposed to be used. But I just pulled those out and slipped it onto my hooks and then added one of their Big Daddy command hooks, off-brand of course, right next to it so that you can also hang your damp dish towel under there too. And I am so sorry you had to see my dirty sponge. I love an organized pantry, and this isn't really a hack, it's more of a suggestion, but I strongly dislike going through plastic baggie boxes and how they look all messy. So I always take them out of their boxes and put the whole pack into the shallow plastic Dollar Tree food container, and they're so much easier to grab, and I have the different sizes nestled in there together, and I keep the lid under the bin so it doesn't get separated, and I put mine in the pantry, but you can put yours in a cupboard or drawer too. too. And you guys know I love to label everything, but I also like to be able to change them when I need to, which is why I love these Dollar Tree adhesive label holders. They're perfect for that because you can just pull the paper out of the plastic and replace it with a new label. They're not as cutie patootie as some of the decorative labels out there, but they're super functional. And most of these are Dollar Tree bins, but then I finally got some of the Xoxo pop containers for Christmas one year. But before I had those, we had a more budget-friendly option by using Dollar Tree canisters and big glass pickle jars, and then I cut out my own labels using cardstock. And then this is one idea that you've probably seen 70 times, but if you just take a Dollar Tree corrugated file holder, that's what's on the label, but I call it a magazine rack, and cover that with some coordinating shelf paper, you can attach this either to the inside of your pantry drawer or just shove it into a cabinet, depending on how your kitchen is set up. But it just makes it look prettier and more organized. And I don't know if you noticed, but this is the same contact paper that I use to cover my shelves in the pantry. And then to hang this, I'm just going to punch 2 holes on the back, and then I use 2 old hooks and some Dollar Tree foam adhesive squares, and then I attach that to the inside of my pantry door. I'm sure you have all seen these racks, and I use them for our paper plates in the pantry, but you can also use them in the freezer for those frozen veggies or frozen dinners or meats. Pretty much anything that gets lost in a pile and isn't so easy to stack. And I'm able to get 2 racks on one shelf. And of course, Dollar Tree bins are always a must-have for those leftovers and open packages. But this way you can see what's in there and it looks nice and tidy. So on to our next hack. I love Dollar Tree plastic locker bins, and quick tip, I keep our toaster in one of these in a lower cabinet because the crumbs get everywhere, and this keeps them off the shelf, and I can just toss them and wipe it out every so often. But anyway, I took a Dollar Tree rack and folded the legs inward, and I made one side a little bit shorter than the other, popped it inside that bin, and then slid my Rubbermaid lids into each of those little slots. And then the smaller ones will go in the shorter side so they still pop out and you can easily grab them. And then I just put those teeny tiny ones in another Dollar Tree bin, and then I'm putting them in a drawer, but again, this works for cabinets too. And speaking of cabinets, we are getting so close to getting our kitchen cabinets painted, but we're not quite there yet, so hopefully soon I won't have to keep trying to crop them out of the shots. But anyway, super cheap and easy hack, but a very functional way to store your lids, and it's pretty easy on the eyes too. Here's another Dollar Tree idea. It's not really a hack, but if you want to get a little more Jesus in the kitchen, you can take one of these daily prayer cards and slip it into a magnetic acrylic picture frame and put it on your refrigerator, and then change it out daily or weekly. But being surrounded by scripture is always a good idea. I love any container that has a lid, and these are for your Christmas treats, but I have a small collection of miscellaneous plates that I love, and I'll use either in a mismatched table setting or in my decorating. And while I would love to see some cupcakes or cookies in here, these are perfect for storing these special plates when they're not being displayed. And you can also put paper plates or napkins in between them to keep them safer. But I like that they're stackable, and if if you're short on cabinet space, you could just tuck them under the bed. When I was trying to come up with ideas for this video, I was thinking of things that are inconvenient or kind of frustrating to go through to find something specific, and first aid stuff is one of those things. So I took 3 of Dollar Tree's acrylic drawers and separated our first aid box with gauze, tape, and scissors in one drawer, Band-Aids in another, and Neosporin and cleansing wipes in the third one. And I'm actually going to go get more of these because I can add our thermometers, cough drops, cold tablets, Tums, anything meds related, and you could just keep stacking them. And then to add some cuteness, I took some scrap red adhesive vinyl and cut a cross out and then stuck it on top and popped it into my cabinet. And you see there, I have lots more room to stack even more. This is kind of a random idea, but how many times do you forget to use your coupons or gift cards and then they end up expiring and you don't get to use them at all? Well, if you set up your Dollar Tree coupon holder with separate labels for food, shopping, and entertainment, you can keep this in your glove compartment in your car or in your purse or even out in that middle area so it's visible and you can remember to use it. But I always forget to use my coupons and I either can't find them or they are expired, especially those Michael's discount receipts. So this way they're handy and ready to use along with menus. There's a fold out area where you can put your larger pieces in there. And if you are donating to your state's educational fund, you can keep your winners in there so you'll remember to cash them in. Okay, I know this hack is going to sound so cheesy, but I am always searching for my keys and my glasses when I get done shopping. So I'm using this Dollar Tree rubber oven mitt grabby thingy. And if you have that wall going across the middle of your purse, sit this little guy right over that and you will never have to dig for them again. This is one of my favorite hacks, as silly as it sounds. And you totally can't see it when you pull your purse together. I tried it on 3 of my other purses too, and it totally works. And nobody will know that you have an oven mitt in your purse. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is having stacks of papers and mail that has no home, so I keep my daily use or more frequently used folders in a hanging wire letter holder on the wall, and I have 4 main ones. There's menus in one, and you'd keep any coupons for those places with them. I have a cleaning folder with cleaning lists, a Jesus folder where I'll keep my bulletins, mass schedules, inspirational things like scriptures and stickers, Bible study notes, and then I have one called Get This Done with my to-do lists and Michael J's very long to-do list. But if you need to pay your car registration, you can slip the notice in there until you're able to get to it. Immediate things like that. And then I cut a piece of black poster board to cover everything up so you can't see all of the gobbledygook in front and it doesn't show through that grid of that basket. I already had one in there, but it was pretty worn out, just like my tabs, so I replaced the black part. I still need to replace my tabs though. So now for our final project. This is a little bit storage, a little bit organization, and a whole lot of pretty. To make 2 of these floating shelves, you'll need 3 pieces of foam board, 4 brackets, and some clear packing tape or duct tape. So I measured the length of the brackets and how thick I wanted to make these faux wood shelves. So for each one, you'll need 2 pieces at 9.5 inches wide, and then go the length of the board, and then 1 piece at 2 3/4 inches wide, and then 2 pieces at 9.5 inches by 2.5 inches wide. And then I just used a craft knife to start cutting down those lines and getting all my pieces together. And I think it's a little bit easier to cut those lines straight without a straight edge. If you have a second person there to help you hold it, then maybe it's a little bit easier. But once you get all of your pieces together, then you're going to just start taping them. And I made sure to put that long 2 3/4 strip on the front and on the outside of all the other edges. So that's the front of your shelf, and it'll be completely flat, if that makes sense. And since I didn't have a second set of hands, I had to use my coffee cup as my holder-upper helper. And then just added my tape to the inside of my floating shelves. On my first one though, I did tape on the outside, and so you can kind of see the texture through the contact paper. So that's why you don't want to tape it on the outside, but I'll show you that in a minute. It's not that bad. But then I laid my contact paper out with the sticky side up and then covered both of my shelves starting with the sides. And you see you have to place it so that it's kind of off center. That way the top of the shelf will get completely covered. And then the open area on the bottom of your shelf, you can just kind of piece that together with the leftovers. And mine aren't perfect, but if you do have a second pair of hands to help, it would be much easier. So then I made little lifters for my shelves because you know they have a tendency to sag in the front. And I just glued 3 Jenga pieces together, and then I mounted the brackets sideways and then placed the lifters on those front ends so that my shelves won't sag. And then you'll just slide your shelf right over those brackets. So now comes the fun part of dressing our shelves. So I used 3 of the Dollar Tree wire baskets and added some bath items. So in the first one, I put some white bars of soap. And in the second one, I put some rolled up washcloths. And then in the third one, a loofah and some shower bombs and a little greenery. And then I'll place those on the top shelf. Then on the bottom shelf, I've got some stacked white towels, a thrift flip basket from another video that I'll have linked in the description box below, a little bath tin I bought at Marshall's a long time ago for more storage, and it's done. And I think it looks so pretty. And of course you'll see some of those bumpity bumps on that bottom shelf from that duct tape that I told you about, but it's not too terribly noticeable. Oh, and the follow me tray above, that's another thrifted piece that I did. And all of the decals you've seen in this video will be listed in my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that below as well. So I hope you found a little inspiration from something we did here today. And if you did, please give us a big thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think. I also have to give a huge shout out to Megan, the organizing queen herself at Glue Guns and Roses, for all of her sweet help in making my very first legit organization video. And it was definitely a challenge. But if you want to see some super amazing Dollar Tree organizing and storage hacks, I'll have her channel linked in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and remember to always be the light. Bye!